everybody. Probably clicked on this video so you can figure out how to change the oil on your second gen Tacoma. Second generation is 2005 to 2015. This one specifically is the 4-liter V6. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through how I do it. It's not hard at all. Anyone with the right tools can do it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Yeah. Everything you'll need: 14 millimeter socket, whatever ratchet you want, wrench, whatever. That's for the drain plug. You're gonna need an oil filter. I just get these from the parts department at Toyota. They're way cheaper to get through them instead of just going and buying like a Wix or whatever from auto parts store. I usually buy them in bulk and it saved me a bunch of money. Same thing with the crush washers. You really don't want to reuse these because once they smash down, they don't really seal as good. Again, I buy these in bulk from the Toyota parts department, whichever one is closest to you or whatever works. You're also going to need some sort of catch pan and a funnel. Funnel is not really needed unless you're like me and don't have a steady hand and can't pour oil straight to save your life. Other than that, really, that's about it. And it doesn't take long at all. But we'll go in and I'll show you what not to do. Do not drain your transmission. That is a common mistake I hear because the transmission oil pan is right next to the oil pan, and a lot of people drain their transmission and then dump more oil in, and they're like, oh, my truck won't go into drive, it won't move because you ain't got no transmission fluid. But yeah, don't do that. I'll show you what the drain bolt looks like and where the oil pan's at. Yeah, let's hop into it. Alright, so here's your oil filter. It's going to be up top. There is this little catch basin right here that directs the oil that comes out of the filter. And there's a little fitting right down here. You can see I have a hose attached to it. You can put a cup in there, a plastic bottle, wedge anything in between the radiator hose, I think is what that is. And just wedge it in there underneath of it so it catches the oil so you don't make a mess. But I just route, I had leftover, I think it's 5/16 fuel line. And I just routed it down and under and found an opening underneath the truck. That way I can drain it into the catch pan. So there's the hose I was talking about from the catch basin up by the filter. I just ran it through some of the hoses and brought it out of this little hole here in the skid plate, and got my catch pan right underneath of it. That way when I undo the filter, it'll go into the catch pan instead of all over the engine bay. I actually went ahead and just put a zip tie on there because it was coiled up before I cut it, and then it was wanting to shoot up and I didn't want it to run down the hose and make a mess. So I'm just doing some preemptive measure here to keep it nice and clean. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and undo the filter. I let the truck warm up like 5-10 minutes, get the oil warm, that way it flows nice, doesn't take as long to drain, gets more of the old oil out of there. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and loosen it up here. Hopefully I don't make a mess. I think my contraption should hold. Should see some oil here, unless we make a mess, I don't know. Let's see if I can get this oil filter off. Yeah, it's on there good. Dang. Also, if you're having a hard time getting your hands around it, you can take the plastic engine cover off, which I like to make things difficult apparently, so I'm just going to leave it on. I have noticed though when when the oil filter gets real warm, the seal tends to expand and it tightens it up a little bit, so it's a little bit harder to get off. Even though I hand tightened it last time, it's a little tight now. So I'm just trying to get it off here. Slowly but surely. We have oil flow. Let's see. We make it. There we go. Nice. Okay. All right, I'll take you up top quick. So basically, I just loosened it up enough to where the oil started coming out. I'm gonna let it sit there for probably just a couple minutes. Don't take long. Also, a little quick note because I'm forgetful. Write your mileage on your oil filter when you're done, when you change it. So right now I'm at 80,000, so I do every 5,000 miles. So I'll write 80K on top there. That way when I hit 85, I'll know, which the truck will tell me anyway, because when I reset the light, it tracks it at 5,000 miles anyway, so I don't have anybody to blame but myself for not changing the oil. I'll let that sit there, and already looks like it stopped, so we'll go ahead and take it off all the way and drain the pan. Alright, so like I was saying earlier, a lot of people get confused. I don't want to say a lot. I've heard stories about it and seen it online and whatnot, but this is the oil pan. It's right in front of the cross member that goes to the control arm, and that's a 14 millimeter. There's also another one back here. I don't know if you can see it. I might bring you around here, but it's also a 14 millimeter, but it's underneath the transmission. That is what you don't want to drain right there. So this is the transmission oil pan, I guess you could call it. And that's your transmission. So this is what you do not want to touch. Do not mess with anything back here. Alright. So I let the filter drain out for a few minutes now. I took the hose off and brought my catch pan over. We're going to go ahead and drain the oil. The oil filter is still off. I did not put the new filter on yet. I found it drains much faster without the filter on. I don't know if it's a Venturi or something. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but yeah, it just drains fast without the filter on. So I usually leave the filter off until it's drained, and then I'll go ahead and put the new filter on after I've put the drain bolt back in, and then we'll fill it up. So I'm gonna drain this sucker. 5.5 quarts. Get that out of the way. Could have got an extension, but this will do. Banging the knuckles is always fun. I like pain. I'm just kidding. See if I can't make a clean getaway here. I don't think it's gonna happen. Nope. Not even close. Oh yeah, not too hot. Perfect temperature. Medium rare. There we go. Make sure you have a big enough catch pan too. I'm pretty sure this is big enough. Should be. I don't know. We'll see. I got another one if I need it. Yeah. Hope you're enjoying your guys' time with me here. Just trying to figure this YouTube thing out, you know? This is what I normally do anyway. I just figured I'd record it. People can benefit from it, right? Not everyone knows how to change the oil. Not everyone teaches them how. Not all people are brought up the same way. So we're going to let this drain, and we'll get back to it. Alright, so I've been letting this drain for a minute. It's still dripping on here and there, but It's getting to the point now where I'm getting impatient. But yeah, most of it's out. A little residual isn't gonna hurt anything, but you can sit and let it drain for 10-15 minutes if you want to, and I'm sure there'll still be drops coming out, but at this point, I'm done waiting. So, quick note, make sure you get the old crush washer off. Most of the times it doesn't come off with the bolt, so if you want to, you can probably just pick it off with your finger. If it doesn't come off, I feel like you could just use a screwdriver, but most of the time, well, the one time I record it, it doesn't come off. Alright, improvise. We're going to use the bolt. I don't feel like getting back out from underneath the truck. Right after I wipe my hands off to get them oily again. See if I can't catch a lip here. Nope. I'm going to have to get a screwdriver. Nice. Look at that. I do have an engineering degree, however. Not that that calls for anything an engineer would do. It's alright. I'm just bragging about my ingenuity. I've actually never used my engineering degree whatsoever. Went to school, never used it. Don't need to waste your time at college. I guess. Alright. So I'm wiping the bolt down. And I'm going to wipe down the mating surface here on the oil pan. Try and not make a mess of my hands anymore after I've wiped them down for the 4th time. Just trying to get it in there without it dripping on me. Hey, look at that. Alright, that's good. So that's on with the new crush washer. I've got righty tighty, lefty loosey. Oh, I'm an idiot. That's left. There we go. You don't gotta crank this down a lot. Just kind of, I don't know, like a torque measurement somewhere out there. But we'll just do the old hand torque wrench. You know, get that click. Good enough. All right. So you've drained the oil. Put a new crush washer on. Now it's time to put the filter back on. Or however you want to do it. You can put the filter on before you put the drain plug in and drain the oil, whatever. However works for you, I guess. But this is the part number. Fun fact, this actually fits on a 22 RE as well. It's just a little bit longer. So I have a 1985 Celica, and it uses the same part number, except the last one uses a YZZD1. It's just a little bit shorter. Yeah, Toyota makes it nice and easy for us. You don't gotta dip your finger in oil and whatnot. They got a little plastic film on here with some lubricant. I don't know what it is, but you don't have to really put oil on the seal because it's already done for you. I really don't fill it up with oil. I know you're supposed to fill your oil filter up so it doesn't dry start, but the way this is designed, obviously, you put oil in it and you go to put it on, you're spilling oil everywhere. So I don't do that. But yeah, it's already lubed up. You just throw it on there and we're ready to fill it up with oil. Again, don't crank these down because yourself in the future is going to hate you. Just do hand tight. That's all it needs. You don't gotta freaking crank it down. Just hand tight until the seal starts grabbing and you can't really move it anymore with your hand. You don't gotta put all your muscle into it either. Alright, now comes the fun part. filling her up. So calls for 5.5 quarts. I just buy a 5 quart jug every time I do an oil change, and then I have another 5 quart jug on standby to use for the half quart, so that way I have 10 oil changes out of this one because I'm only using half quart. So this is the part where I usually make a mess because I'm a klutz. And I'm also short too, so I have to stand on a step stool. But just open her up. It's right behind the oil filter, you won't miss it. The oil fill, that is. Make sure your funnel's clean. And let her eat. Or drink, I should say. Yum. There you go. This funnel kind of sucks. I can't pour it very fast. If you have a bigger funnel, it would be a lot smoother. Just be patient though. You don't want a freaking 5 quart jug of oil spilled in your engine bay.
A few moments later.
Liquid gold. Look at that. Looks like honey, honestly.
An eternity later.
Kind words is like honey for your soul. Motor oil is like honey for your engine. And 5 quarts. Now, honestly, you can do 2 things here. You can put the oil cap back on, reset your oil light, which I'll show you how to do in a minute. Start it up and let it kind of cycle through the new oil, and then you can check your dipstick to see how much you need, because you may not need a half a quart, depending on how much residual oil is left. Yeah, and hold on to your old jugs. You can put the old oil into them and turn them into the, I don't know, I think O'Reilly's, all the auto parts store take it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and go to the cab and reset the oil light, and we'll start it up. Alright, so we're in the cab now. To reset your maintenance light, you'll turn the key to the start position. So don't start it, just turn it to the start position. And you'll see your maintenance required light over here. That's the one we're trying to get rid of. So once you're here, you just hit your odometer once, so you're on trip A here, your first trip. And we're going to turn the key off. And then, I can't really show you right now, I only got 2 hands, I don't have 3. You're going to hold your trip button down at the same time as turning your key to the start position. And you'll see, I believe it's 4 dashes show up on your odometer, and it'll diminish away, and then your trip will show up again. And that is how you know your maintenance light was reset. Alright, so I just ran it for a couple minutes. Check the dipstick and see if we got to put any more oil in. Probably will have to put a little bit in. Probably not going to be the whole half a quart, but we'll see. Dipstick is on the passenger side, opposite of the oil filter. Actually, straight across from the fill is the dipstick. It's a yellow ring. You just pull out, and the dipstick will have a reading on there. You want it to be toward the top of the X marks, which I can show you here quick. I'll pull it out and show you. where we're at. So the first time you pull it out, wipe it off. Don't read it off the first pull. Once you wipe it off, put it back in, maybe. Push it all the way in. And then you can read it. So it looks like we are a little low. Not too bad. We're in between the two dots. Actually, I'll show you here. So I don't know if you'll be able to tell. This one doesn't have X marks. This one has two dots. I know you can't really see where the oil is at, but it's right in the middle. So I'll put a little bit more in there to get it toward the top mark there. Just play it on the safe side. It would be fine where it's at right now, but I'm just gonna top it off a little bit. And I'm indecisive, so I'm gonna read it again because I never know if the reading is bad. I hate reading this dipstick. This dipstick sucks. It's extremely hard to read, especially if the oil is new. So if you're like me, read it 3 or 4 times until you feel confident in the level. All right, so I just topped it off. Got it right below that second dot. It was like 5 1/4 quarts probably. Calls for 5 1/2, but I don't think I've ever put a full 5 1/2 quarts back in. So just check the dipstick. The dipstick won't lie to you. It is hard to read though, I will say. But yeah, we reset the maintenance light. That's all good to go for another 5,000 miles. New oil filter, crush washer, whole shebang. So that's gonna wrap it up for this. I do have some other videos coming. I have a 1985 Toyota Celica. Pretty sweet little car, if I do say so. There's not a lot of content on YouTube about them. So I'll be doing some stuff with that and posting it here. So if you want to see some older Toyotas, make sure you subscribe. I don't know how long it's going to be till the next video comes out, but I got some free time, so I might be working on it. Post some videos here and there. Yeah, let me know what I can do better for this setup here. This is my first video, if you couldn't tell. Just tell me what I need to improve on, what points were helpful, and what didn't really matter. Just keep it out, whatever. Just let me know. If you feel like liking the video, go right ahead. If it helped you in any way, have at it. If not, that's fine too. But yeah, that's all I got. I'm gonna wrap it up here, clean up. Peace.